Here's something most AI creators don't tell you. Building AI automations and agents in n8n is just the beginning. The real game changer is turning that automation into a fully functional, scalable microservice, and most tutorials never show that. In this video, I'll break down exactly how to build automation and turn that automation into an AI-powered web app step by step without any coding skills required. Stick around, you don't want to miss this. In this video, I'll show you how I built a fully automated lead generation web app using no-code tools. Cut the exact system I use to find and qualify leads while I sleep. I'll show you exactly how to build it from scratch, even if you've never built a web app before. Pretty cool, right? And the best part is, at the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to build it yourself from scratch, even if you've never written a single line of code. We'll go step by step. I'll walk you through how the whole system works, or then we'll build the full web app together inside Replit, connect it to n8n automation, run it, and test everything live. And yeah, I'll also show you how I fixed the real bugs I faced along the way so you don't get stuck where I did. I built this for an agency client to save time and scale lead gen without hiring extra people per SM, and now I'm sharing it with you. So let's get into it. First, I'll give you a quick walkthrough of how the system works behind the scenes inside n8n, where the actual automation is built. Then we'll start building the web app using Replit. But before we dive in, let me quickly introduce myself, not as some expert or guru, but as someone who probably started just like you. Over the past 2 years, I've been learning and building AI automations and AI agents using no-code tools. Along the way, I've worked with hundreds of businesses to help them put AI systems in place that actually make their lives easier. Not just some flashy automation, but I'm not here to show you how to just use n8n and build random workflows. My goal is bigger than that. I'm here to show you how to build smart, scalable AI systems using no-code tools, the kind of systems that businesses are willing to pay for. Because here's the truth, no one's paying you to build just automations anymore. If your workflow doesn't solve a problem, it's just another fancy setup. That's why it's so important to learn how to turn basic automations into full systems, something valuable, something that works and sells. So if you're someone who wants to build real systems and land high-ticket clients with your skills, this video is for you.
Okay, so now I'm going to show you the multi-lead generation system that I've built inside n8n. As you can see on the screen, we have multiple automation flows in this workspace, and this is going to be an exciting walkthrough. This is a comprehensive multi-lead generation system that can scrape leads from different popular sources. The major platforms we're connecting to include Apollo, ZoomInfo, Google Maps, Yelp, and LinkedIn Sales Navigator. These are the most commonly used lead generation sources that businesses rely on for their prospecting needs. In this quick walkthrough, I'm going to focus specifically on the Apollo lead generation flow. I'll show you exactly how this system works behind the scenes so you can understand the automation logic. After we explore the n8n automation, we'll also create a front-end interface using Replit to make this entire process user-friendly. We'll connect this powerful automation to a web-based front-end that anyone can use. This will create a complete system where users can generate leads without touching the n8n interface. Let me start by showing you how this automation begins. We're using n8n's native form node as our trigger. The form includes several filter options that are essential for lead scraping. If you've ever generated leads from B2B databases before, you know we need specific targeting criteria. The main filters include job titles, location, industry, and keywords. These are the core parameters for precise lead targeting. Next, we have a switch node that acts as our data router. This node is responsible for directing the user's request to the appropriate lead generation source. For example, if someone selects Apollo as their preferred source, the data flows to the dedicated Apollo workflow that we've built. I've created separate, dedicated workflows for each lead source to ensure optimal performance. Here you can see the Google Maps flow, and over there are the flows for ZoomInfo, Yelp, and Apollo. Each source has its unique requirements and data structure, so having dedicated flows ensures maximum reliability and accuracy. Now let me give you a detailed walkthrough of the Apollo flow, starting from the beginning. The first node in this Apollo workflow is an AI agent node that serves a very specific purpose. This AI agent is responsible for generating a valid Apollo search URL based on the user's filter criteria. Let me quickly show you what Apollo is for those who might not be familiar with this platform. Apollo is one of the largest B2B lead databases available, and it's incredibly powerful for prospecting. You can search and save leads based on different industries, job titles, and verification status. It's a go-to tool for sales professionals. As you can see in my Apollo account here, this is the main interface where you can search for leads. On the left side, we have the filter panel, and on the right, we see the actual lead results. I've already applied some sample filters here, so you can see exactly how the system works in, practice. The email verification feature is crucial because we only want to target leads with verified contact information. There's no point in reaching out to leads with invalid email addresses or phone numbers. When we select verified emails only, we ensure that our outreach campaigns will have much higher deliverability and, response rates too. Apollo offers numerous filtering options including job titles, company size, location, industry, and keywords. The three most powerful filters that I recommend focusing on are job title, location, and industry. These three filters combined will give you the most targeted and relevant leads for your specific business needs. Trust me on this. Now let's get back to our n8n automation and see how we process this data. After the AI agent generates the Apollo URL, we have a code node that formats and, validates the URL. Sometimes the AI agent might add extra characters or formatting that could break the URL, so this code node ensures we always output a clean, valid URL. Finally, we're using an HTTP node to connect with Appify for the actual web scraping process. Appify is basically the go-to platform for web scraping tasks, and it's incredibly reliable for this type of automation. I've configured a specific Appify apper that's designed specifically for scraping Apollo and extracting lead data efficiently and, accurately too. After that, we have this set node, which is, about to format the data. Sometimes we get lots of data for leads, but, we need only the data that's actually useful for us. After that, we have an Airtable node, and, I always prefer to save my data inside Airtable. That's why I'm using Airtable here. Okay, so as you can see, let me show you. This is my Airtable workspace. Here, I have created a dedicated table for Apollo leads, as you can see, and this one is currently empty. So let me generate some leads and show you how this works. Here, I have added some fields that I need like name, email, email status, industry, seniority, headline, and, bunch of other options. Currently, this is empty because I haven't generated leads yet. So let me show you by, generating some leads right now. First of all, let me execute this step with the form, because I'm using a form trigger here. So when we execute this workflow, a form will appear for us. We have to provide some details here which lead source we're going to use. So for this demo, I'm using Apollo. Job title, I'm using CEO, owner, and founder. Location, maybe I want to get leads based on New York City. And industry, I am targeting real estate. Okay, I have selected Apollo. Now I have to submit this form. Form is submitted and, as you can see, as soon as I submitted the form, the data has went to this Apollo flow because I selected Apollo. After that, now the scraping process is starting, and the Appify actor is getting leads from Apollo. This is a super affordable choice to use Apollo through Appify because, if you use Apollo directly, Apollo is very pricey. But if you use Appify, then you get leads at affordable prices. Same quality leads because they're probably partnered with Apollo, and they always give us verified leads. So let's wait a little bit, and we'll get our data straight into our CRM. Let's wait. Currently it's in progress. It takes a little bit of time, like 30-35 seconds. After getting the data, that data will go straight forward inside our database. So let's wait and see. Okay, so after waiting 30 seconds, now scraping process is done. And as you can see, we have got leads from the Appify actor, which has generated leads for us. These are all the leads, and after that, as I said, I'm using a set node. Here, if you see, there are a bunch of data fields, but we don't need all of this data, right? We need only data that is useful for us, like name, email, email address, and some other relevant data. That's why I'm using this filter node here, and we're getting filtered data. After we got the data, we are saving the data inside our database, which for database, I'm using Airtable, sorry. And as you can see, now we got the data here, and we got around 24 leads. All of these are verified. As you can see, their email status shows verified. So after that, we get all the data like name, email, phone, industry, their seniority, like, CEO, founders, all of them are founders, and their headline, their particular role, and other bunch of data. So this is how the system works, and that's basically it. This is how other flows work too. In this walkthrough, I'm not going to cover all of these because, well, the main part is to create the front end. We want to automate the entire process and create this automation into something valuable that is, recognizable and that can really help us. We want to position this system as a premium system because if we use a manual process from here, like getting data manually, this is not going to work for us. We can't scale this. We can't call it a system. It's still a manual workflow. But we're going to convert everything into a system, which is a web app, and we're going to create a web app. Okay, so first of all, I've saved this automation, and now let me open my Replit account where we're going to build this web app and front-end system. So let's go ahead and, check this out. Okay, so now I'm inside my Replit account, and as you can see, this is Replit. If you've never used Replit before, don't worry, it's super beginner friendly. Within just 1 or 2 tries, I'd recommend you definitely try this platform because, well, it's not completely free, but you can use the free tier. If you haven't created a Replit account yet, I'd suggest you go to replit.com. This is basically an industry-level coding tool where you can build any type of websites or apps. You can build iOS apps, Android apps, whatever you need, depending on your requirements. I'll teach you how to yield front ends and even back ends for your n8n automations. We'll also work with different types of automation and AI agents later. We'll create voice bots, voice agents, and chat bots too. We'll connect all of those backends by creating front-end systems and web apps using Replit. Enthusiastically, Replit is super beginner-friendly and signing up for an account is really easy. If you're a beginner, I'd suggest starting with their free starter plan. You can create development apps with temporary hosting, and that's enough if you're just getting started. But if you want extra features and want to build something more advanced, I'd highly recommend their core plan. That's what I'm using. I actually have the 1-year core plan. Okay, let's not get into those details because they're not necessary right now. So this is my Replit account dashboard, and it looks like this. We have several options here. First is Home, where you can create new projects. Next is Apps, where you can see all your recent work. I've built some apps before, so that's why you can see all these projects here. Then we have Deployments. This is where you can deploy your apps or websites, using Replit servers to make them live on the internet. There are also usage metrics if you're on a pro plan. You can see how much of your quota you've used because Replit works on a credit-based system. The most useful option for us right now is creating new projects. If you've worked on other coding platforms like Bolt or Cursor before, you can import your code from GitHub here. But we're going to create everything from scratch. And if you're completely new to this, don't worry. I'll guide you step by step. Before we start building the front end, we need to plan this out properly. First, we'll create a beautiful dashboard. Then, we'll build a front-end page for generating leads through our web app. For this process, we need good prompts, and I'm going to approach this like a complete beginner who doesn't know how to code. That's why I'm using Perplexity AI. I like Perplexity because it has access to different AI models, GPT-4, Claude, and other advanced models from various providers. But if you prefer ChatGPT, that works perfectly fine too. Use whatever AI assistant you're comfortable with. The key thing is giving the AI proper context. What I mean is, before building anything, we need a solid plan, what we're creating and how we'll create it. Building a web app isn't simple, so we need to plan everything out first, then execute that plan step by step. So I'm going to write a detailed prompt in Perplexity, and I'll show you exactly what I'm writing. Let's create this prompt together. As you can see, I'm telling Perplexity that I want to create a lead generation web app using Replit as our development platform. As you know, we've already created our lead generation automation inside n8n. We're going to use n8n as our backend system. It'll work behind the scenes because users won't see what's happening in the backend. They'll just input their options and filters in the front end, which is the dashboard and the lead generation page, and we'll use n8n as the backend. We'll build a fully functional front end using Replit. So to create this web app, I need your help to write prompts, and together, we'll build this thing, okay? For this purpose, I'm using Claude 3.5 Sonnet, which is, well, the latest model from Anthropic, and it's really capable of reasoning and other advanced tasks. Let's send this prompt and wait for the response. Okay, so it has responded. I'd be happy to help you create a lead generation web app, and this is the entire response from Claude. It's giving us a detailed breakdown, like initial setup, creating leads and rendering pages with specific requirements, clean copy design sections, enhanced UI UX, and integration with n8n using webhooks. We'll connect n8n to our front-end application using webhooks, and later I'll show you what webhooks are and how to use them as a complete beginner. So this is the entire response, and first of all, I should mention that we're not building a super complex enterprise-level lead generator. We're creating something simple because I'm assuming all of you are beginners, and I'll teach you everything step by step later. But for this specific tutorial, we're focusing on a super beginner-friendly and simple, clean dashboard. Okay, so I'm telling the AI that this time we want something straightforward. Now I've written this prompt. First of all, we're going to create a dashboard, a modern dashboard with metric cards. If you've ever seen professional dashboards before, then you know what I'm talking about. So we're going to create a dashboard first. I've written this prompt and said that this time we're creating a simple dashboard and a page to generate leads because we're not going to create something complex or overly complicated. We're going to create a simple dashboard because this is a beginner-friendly tutorial. That's why I'm focusing on creating something simple and clean. We'll create a simple page, which will be for scraping leads, okay? Now, I've given it a specific role, and it's so important to give a role to the AI model. You need to tell it what you're going to build. Since we're building software, I said, I want you to act as a professional software developer, which means now the model has context about what we're doing. Now, it'll act as a software developer and write clear, detailed instructions, or prompts for Replit, so we can get exactly what we want. To get maximum output from LLM models, you have to be good at prompt engineering. You have to provide as much detail as possible about whatever you're building, so the model can understand your vision. It can then write good, detailed prompts that are aligned with what you actually want. That's why I crafted this specific prompt. If you want this prompt and all these templates for this automation, you can join my Whop community where you can access all of these resources. I'll show you how to join at the end of this tutorial. For now, let me send this prompt and let's wait for the response. Now it's doing some research. This is the #1 reason why I love using Perplexity. It researches first, then after researching it gives you professional results or answers. Let's see. It's looking at modern design trends, and now it's writing the full prompt. Let's wait for this prompt, and once we get it, we'll feed this prompt directly to Replit. Okay, so now it has generated a detailed and comprehensive prompt for Replit. Now we only have to do one thing. Copy this prompt from here, and let's quickly read through it. I can see conversion rates, active campaigns, lead scores, and after that, features and animations. It's also mentioning integrations with platforms like HubSpot and other CRM systems. Alright, so now we're good to go. We just copy this prompt, go to Replit, and paste this prompt right here, and start building. Click here, and now the magic is going to happen. Okay, so now Replit is reading the prompt, and as you can see, we've landed on this page. Let's wait and see what happens. Now we're getting a response from Replit. I can see you want to build a comprehensive lead dashboard. Let me create a plan for this. Now Replit is creating a plan because it's like having a virtual software developer. That's why it creates a plan first, and when it's done, it'll show you the plan and you have to approve it. As you can see, we got a pop-up here at the bottom saying, ready to build. Approve this plan when you're ready. We have to approve this plan so we can give permission to Replit to design and develop our web app. Okay, so now it's working. This sidebar is where we chat with Replit. We can add instructions, attach files, or use agent tools. We can give it access to web search, image generation, and we have a bunch of other options. I'll cover all of these features later in future tutorials, but for this tutorial, let's stick with the basics, okay? Now it has, as you can see, this is the preview window where it's creating the web app. It has created the web app structure and the process is ongoing. It'll take a little bit of time, and it says the agent can work on tasks after the initial version. We don't need to do anything right now. We just have to wait a little bit, and once it's done, it'll send us a message right here. Okay, so as you can see, now we've got the response from Replit, and on the right side, you can see that Replit has created a really beautiful dashboard for us with a bunch of options and metric cards. So first of all, let's see what it has done in this process. In this process, it has created some pages and files. Now, if you don't know what these files are, that's okay if you're not familiar with coding, but these are basically files that were created for the pages it has built. So this is the page structure it created: CSS styling, storage, and application files, and it has sent us this response saying, "I have built a modern professional dashboard," and other details. Now let's preview this. This is the main dashboard. For preview, we have some options here where we can see our web app in different screen sizes. If you're creating responsive web pages or web apps, then you can see how it looks on different screen sizes. You can see this one is in iPhone view, and we have other options here. But we're just going to stick with the web view because we created this for PC. Later, I'll guide you on how you can create responsive designs as well. Okay, so it's loading, and now as you can see, I've got a really beautiful dashboard with some metric cards. You can see we have total leads generated, conversion rate, revenue this month, response rate, average lead score, and a bunch of other options like generate new leads, export data, and performance analytics. And this is the recent activity section. Okay, so we've got this beautiful dashboard layout. We also got this option where we can change the color theme of our web page, as you can see. So I'm sticking with the light theme that I like, and we have a search bar and navigation with lead gen page and analytics. So now, next, we're going to build this lead gen page where the real magic will happen, and here we'll generate leads. First of all, we'll connect our backend, which is our n8n automation, to the front end. Okay, so now let's go and create the lead gen page. So again, I'll go to Perplexity and let's tell Perplexity what we want to build. Now let me write the prompt and I'll show you what I'm writing. Okay, so now I've written the entire prompt for building the lead gen page, and I've added all the instructions. With those instructions, I've added the core functionalities of this page, like what the main purpose of this page is. As you know, the main purpose is to generate leads, so for leads we need some filters and functions so we can actually generate leads. I've added all of these requirements, and at the end I gave it instructions and assigned it a role to write the prompt for us. Now let's check. Now it's reading the attached files. For reference, I've added some files and images from previous work I've done, so now it's reading those and writing a detailed prompt for Replit to create this page. Let's wait for it to write the complete prompt, and then we'll feed this prompt to Replit to build this lead gen page. Stick to the end of this video and you'll have hands-on experience of how to create your very first web app or system, and you'll learn how to connect that to your n8n automations. So let's wait. It's working and writing the entire prompt. Okay, so now it has finished the prompt, and this is the entire prompt. First of all, let's copy this prompt, and as you can see, we can read through the prompt if we want and see the features it has added. Let me provide this to our Replit chat. I've pasted the entire prompt here, and now if I want, I can also attach files here, but I'm not going to do that. I just have to click here. Okay, so I'll send this message to Replit, and now Replit will start working on this page. As you can see, it has sent this message. It says, "I'll create a professional leads generator page that integrates seamlessly with your existing dashboard. Let me start by adding the new route and creating the leads generator page." Now it's working and it'll create the page. It will take a little bit of time. One thing I can tell you is that creating web apps and building software and projects takes time. You can't get it perfect in one attempt or within one prompt. You have to iterate your prompts and try multiple times. When you create web apps using no-code tools, basically these are AI platforms. Replit is using Claude's LLM model to generate code, and basically it's using AI. This is completely AI-generated code, and we can't rely solely on it, but I would say we can rely on it to a good extent. It's good to use no-code tools because Replit is an industrial-level platform, and it can really build whatever you want. But you have to iterate, and if you face bugs and errors, then you have to provide good prompts and clear instructions so it can solve the problem for you. Okay, so it's now working on our project, it's creating the page, and I'll show you once it's done, so let's wait. Okay, so now we've got the response from Replit, and it says it has created the lead generation page. In the preview, you can see the page, so let's go to full window view and see how the web page is looking in a full tab. Okay, so it has created the page, and let's see how it turned out. Okay, so it has created the page like we wanted, and we have a sidebar and left filter bar, and we have a live leads results section where we'll see leads when we generate them. We'll need to configure this to get data back from our backend system, but currently, if you look at it, it's not looking very professional and it's looking kind of messy. There's no proper alignment and the layout isn't great either. The options don't look good, so what I'm going to do is capture a screenshot of this entire page. I'm going to feed it to Perplexity and ask it to make it more beautiful and professional looking. Okay, so let me write the prompt and then I'll show you the new prompt I'm creating. I have a design in my mind that I'm feeding into the prompt, and I've written a full detailed prompt for Perplexity. Now I'm asking it to create my page in a completely new design because, as you can see, currently it's not looking that good. The dashboard is looking good. There's no problem with the dashboard, but the lead gen page is looking kind of messy. That's why I've added a full detailed prompt, and now Perplexity is writing the new prompt. We'll have to wait, and then we'll feed this prompt to Replit and see what happens next. Okay, so Perplexity has written a new prompt, and we fed that prompt to Replit. Now, as you can see on the right side, Replit has created a really beautiful lead gen page for us. As you can see, the complete UI UX has changed, and this is what I was talking about. This is the magic of good prompting. I gave a full detailed prompt explaining exactly what I wanted, and as you can see, this now looks like a SaaS level, industry level application. We have a headline here, we have metric cards, and we have all the sources that are currently available inside our n8n workspace. As you can see, we have, I think, 5 sources, and all our sources are available here: Apollo, Google Maps, Yelp, and LinkedIn. Now we have a leads history section here where we can see completed campaigns like Google Maps. This is currently dummy data because we haven't generated or scraped any leads yet, but soon we'll add real data here. The point here is to show you what you can build using no-code tools. As you can see, I'm just prompting and building whatever I want, and that's what I want for you too. I want you to be efficient at prompting and generating powerful, profitable systems that you can sell for big prices. Okay, so getting to the point, we're not going to cover all of these features. For this tutorial, I'm keeping it focused and simple. For this particular tutorial, we're going to use only Apollo, which means we'll create an inner page for scraping leads specifically from Apollo. That's the main focus, and we'll now create a new inner page inside this application, so we can actually generate leads from it. Okay, so now let me go and create that page, and once it's done, I'll show you. Let me go and provide the details to Perplexity to write a prompt for creating the inner page where we can scrape leads and where we'll connect our n8n automation, our n8n backend, to this front end. This is where the real magic will happen, connecting everything together. All right, so we've built the Apollo lead gen page, and it's looking pretty decent as you can see here. On the left, we've got filter options: current email status, job title, location, industry, keywords, and a slider for how many leads you want. Over on the right side, here's an empty results box. This is where fresh leads will pop in once the backend does its thing. But right now, it's just a shell. Nothing's wired up yet. Okay, so now, our next job is to connect this page or web app to n8n via webhook, so data can actually flow when we start generating leads. And to do that, we'll replace the old trigger to a webhook node inside n8n. And if you don't know what is webhook, then think on it, like a messenger between two apps. Instead of you checking for updates all the time, a webhook instantly sends data from one app to another the moment something happens. Think of it like a doorbell. When someone presses it, you get notified right away. In our case, when users pick their filters in this lead gen page, then the system wraps those choices in a JSON payload and sends it straight to our webhook in n8n. And this way the entire automation is running, and this is called backend. So anyway, here in Perplexity, I've typed up a plain English prompt telling it to write a detailed prompt for Replit to connect our web app to n8n automation. And for that, we've got to provide our webhook URL here. Alright, buddy, now comes the fun part. Let's actually connect this beautiful front end to our n8n automation. So, first thing we need to do is go back in n8n, and first of all, we will replace old trigger to webhook. Okay, so for that, just click here on this plus icon and type webhook. Now you'll see two different webhook options pop up. One just says webhook and the other says respond to webhook. For now, we want the first one. Go ahead and drag that webhook node onto your canvas. And yeah, you can delete that old form trigger now because we don't need it anymore. Okay, so now connect this new webhook node to the beginning of your automation, right where the old trigger used to be. Now here's where it gets interesting. Double-click to open the webhook node settings. You'll see there are two different URLs in there. A test URL and a production URL. The test URL is just for testing things out. But we want the production URL because we're building something real here that people will actually use. Copy that production URL. And I mean really copy it, don't just look at it. Because this is the magic link that connects your website to your n8n automation. Every time someone clicks generate leads on your site, it's going to call this exact URL. Right below those URLs, you'll see something called HTTP method. It's probably set to get by default. We need to change this to post instead. Why post? Well, think about it. Our website isn't just asking for information, it's actually sending data. Like the job titles, locations, and all those filters the user selected. Save that node and boom. Your n8n automation is now ready to listen for incoming requests from your web app that it will get once we start generating leads from the lead gen page. It's like setting up a phone line. Now your website and your automation can actually talk to each other. Now let's hop back over to Perplexity where we have written our prompt, and here we need to add the webhook URL we just copied. Look for a placeholder in the prompt that says something like webhook endpoint or API URL. That's where we're going to paste our production URL. I've assigned Perplexity a role so it knows exactly what kind of prompt we need for Replit. Now, we just need to send it our instructions so it can write a clear step-by-step prompt for adding the webhook feature to our web app. Alright, so now Perplexity is working on the prompt. We just gotta wait a bit. Once it's done, I'll copy the whole thing, drop it into Replit, and then show you what it came up with. Alright, so now I have provided the full detailed prompt to Replit, and it's working on to connect our front end to back end. So this is going to be the really exciting part. But you've got to pay close attention here because this is the crucial step where everything comes together. We're now connecting our front end system to the back end. And this is where some people run into challenges. I've actually gotten messages on LinkedIn asking me to create videos on exactly this topic, how to connect front end systems to back end automations. So I really want you to watch this with full focus and concentration so you can master this valuable skill. You'll be able to connect your front-end systems to any back-end without running into errors. It's honestly a game changer once you get it. Let's wait for Replit to finish implementing the webhook functionality. It'll take a little bit of time to add all the features, and once it's done, I'll walk you through everything. Okay, so now Replit has sent us a success message. It says, I have successfully implemented the complete n8n webhook integration with Toast notification system for the Apollo page. It's also telling us what it added, n8n webhook integration to connect our backend to the front-end system, unique job ID generation. And I'll tell you why we need unique job IDs for each scraping session. This is actually crucial because later we'll handle errors and success messages properly. That's why we need a unique job ID every time someone generates leads. It also added a notification system that'll send us updates, enhanced validation, and other cool features. But before we can actually scrape and generate leads, we need to go back into our n8n automation and add one more important piece. We need to add a respond to webhook node because when our front end sends data to n8n, we need to send a response back confirming that the scraping process has started. Think of it like this. The front end says, hey, start scraping with these filters, and we need n8n to respond back saying, got it, scraping process has been started. So let me add that node. I'll search for respond to webhook and connect it right after our main webhook trigger.
Okay, so here I've added some response data. Let's save this automation. And here's something super important. You have to activate this workflow in order for it to receive data from the front end. Let's check the execution tab. The last execution was August 13th, so it looks like we're ready to test this thing live. Now let me go to our front end lead generation page and I'll add some filters to test this out. Let me set the job title to CEO, Founder, Owner. Location to New York City. Industry is optional, but let's add real estate just to be thorough. And for keywords, I'll put real estate agents. For lead limit, let's say I want to scrape 10 leads. Perfect. Now, after selecting all these options, I just tap on the generate button and boom, lead generation started successfully. We got this beautiful message, which means our webhook connection is working perfectly. Now, we have to wait a little bit. And just so you know, this data showing up here is currently dummy data, but later I'll show you how to get real leads flowing through. Let's check if our webhook was triggered. Let me go back to our n8n system and see if we got the data. Yes, as you can see, we got this response recently. This is the entire data that our front-end webhook sent to the n8n webhook. Most of this data isn't useful to us though. The useful stuff is always under the body parameter. Here we got the job, ID, timestamp, email status. These are all the filters we selected on the front end. You can see I selected email status as verified, job titles as CEO, founder, owner, the exact location and industry. But wait, the keyword is missing. I think I made a mistake and didn't select the keyword properly. Let me try this once more. Okay, this time the webhook triggered again, which means our workflow ran successfully. Let's check the data. Yes, this time we got keywords as well. Previously, I forgot to add keywords, but now we're getting all the data properly. Now, the first thing we need to do is configure our n8n system because this is the first time we're connecting our webhook and n8n system to a front-end system. We need to configure and filter this data because not all of this raw data is useful for our lead generation process. Next, I'll show you how to clean up this data and make it work perfectly with our Apollo scraping flow.
All right, check this out. Our payload hit the webhook node just fine and flowed straight into the respond to webhook node. But it didn't travel any farther, so nothing else in the flow ran. You're probably thinking, we chose the Apollo source. Shouldn't the data move into the Apollo branch automatically? Exactly, but that only happens after we clean and route the payload. We haven't done that part yet. So first step, grab the raw JSON we just received, copy the whole thing, head back to the webhook node's pinned data area, paste it in and hit save. Now we can test without sending live calls every time. Pinned data is awesome. It lets us iterate quickly. With a sample locked in place, we can build and debug the rest of the workflow before real users ever touch it. Next, we need to filter out the noise. Drag in a code node right after the webhook and name it filter data. If you're not a coder, no stress. Just screenshot the JSON, hop over to Perplexity, and ask for a quick JavaScript snippet that keeps only the fields we care about. I did exactly that. Took a screenshot, wrote a plain English prompt, and Perplexity spit out the code. Copy-paste that snippet into the code node, save, and run a test. Boom. Now we're left with just the goodies. Job ID, timestamp, email status, job title, location, industry, keyword, and lead limit. Much cleaner, right? Now we can wire things up without dragging around a ton of extra baggage. Back in Respond to Webhook, switch the reply type to JSON. Trust me, JSON plays nicest with front-end code. Set success to true to let the UI know the scrape kicked off, and add a friendly message like scraping started for Apollo. Don't forget to include the selected source so the front end can display the right toast alert. Save the node, activate the workflow, and we're officially listening for real requests. Alright, so now we've placed the Respond to Webhook node right after the code node. This means that whenever our automation gets data or an event from the web app, this node will send a success message straight back to the web app's webhook. That way the page can instantly show us a success message. Okay, so now let's add the data we need to respond to the webhook. We've already got some JSON data here, as you can see. We just need to update it with the current source, job ID, and any other parameters we want to send back. Alright, now let's move over to the switch node. Here we need to update the routing rules. As you can see, I've already added the parameters, but right now they're showing as undefined. So let's fix that by updating them with the new source. If the user selected source equals to Sales Navigator, then the data will go to the Sales Navigator flow. And if it is, let me update this one too. If the selected source equals Apollo, then the user's selected filter data will go to the Apollo flow so it can generate leads. In this case, Apollo starts with a capital A, so we need to update this to match exactly. The name has to match perfectly, otherwise the switch node will fail. You have to be very careful here. As you can see, Apollo starts with an uppercase letter, capital A, but if you make it lowercase, it will fail and it won't send leads data to the right flow. Okay, so I've updated it, and now we need to test this step once more, and we also need to update the data fields in further nodes. Okay, so now let's wait. The data has been sent here, and I need to update the input fields as well. So first, I have the job titles that this person selected. The first one selected is CEO, and another one is founder. Yeah, the second one was that. Okay, I think we need to remove this section. For this condition, the first one should go here. We can see job titles 4 and 5 are not available. Location is New York City, and for keywords, here's the keyword field. We need to replace the keyword here. Keywords are really important, so you have to put the keyword right here. As you can see the data, you can preview it here. Let's execute this step and see if it creates a valid URL. Let me check. Yes, it has created the URL. Let's go to the next step, which is our code node that formats the URL. Okay, so I've checked and the link is working. Here we just need to replace the lead count with the number of leads the user selected. In this case, the user wants to scrape 10 leads, so we need to drag and drop this parameter right here. And now we're all set. We need to save it, and as you can see, the entire system is working properly now. We're ready to go. Now we'll go back to our web app. First, let me open my Airtable database. Let me show you the current status of my Airtable database for Apollo leads. We'll generate leads and store them here. Okay. So here are the leads we generated recently during manual testing. But let me delete all of these leads from the Airtable database. Now as you can see, it's completely empty. And now we're going to generate fresh leads from our web app. Now I'm back to this web app front end that we built, the lead generation page. I'm adding some job titles that are needed. In this case, I'll add Chief Executive Officer, Marketing Officer, and I also need some others like Founder, Co-Founder, and as many as you want. You can select President too. Okay, so these are enough. For location, I'm going to select United States. So there are different locations available. Let's go with California. And let me select a specific location. I'll choose Los Angeles. For industry, I could pick something. But actually, industry is optional. So I'm just going to leave it empty.
Okay, so industry condition.
In the keyword field, I'll type digital marketing. Next, I'll choose how many leads I want to generate. Let's go with 10. Alright, so now we've set all the filters we need. Let's click this button to generate leads. And there we go, it's started. The data has been sent to our n8n automation through a webhook.
As you can see, within seconds, we got a success notification here on the page that says the scraping process has started. That's our signal that the workflow has kicked off inside n8n, and it's now processing leads based on the filters we selected. Right now, it's showing 5 leads in the leads table, but this is just dummy data. We haven't built the feature yet to pull real leads from the backend. Don't worry, later in the tutorial, I'll show you exactly how to get live data showing right here from our backend system. Now let's go back to n8n, and as you can see, the current workflow is running. It's running and will take a little bit of time. As you can see, the leads are being generated live and the system is storing them. I think it has generated around 20 leads. It'll take a little more time, but you can see the leads are being generated with the same industry we selected, marketing. If you check the location, we selected Los Angeles, so all of these leads are from Los Angeles, United States. Yeah, so we got this data. Here in our front-end app on this page, we got some lead data, but I think the system is generating this by itself. It's not real data from our backend. But this tutorial has become quite long. We've covered lots of things, and I think this is my first real video on this channel, so I don't want to make it too long. So I'm ending this video right here, and I hope you got lots of value from this, seeing how the system works. If I get good responses from all of you, then in the next tutorial video, I'll show you how we can handle errors, and also how we can fetch real data from the system. This system has generated leads here, but if you want, we can get live leads showing up here with progress bars, and we can manage errors that we might encounter. Lots of things we'll cover in the next tutorial. But for this tutorial, I think this amount of value is good. I've provided lots of insights to you. We've turned a simple n8n automation into a front-end system and generated leads. As you can see, we've generated leads using this front-end system, and it's working great. So that's what's possible with these AI tools and knowledge. If you want, we can even show you more about how this system works. Okay, so now we're inside our execution of the current workflow that we ran when we started generating leads from the front end. As you can see, the data came to the webhook, and the respond to webhook node sent the success message back to the front-end system, and the switch node sent the data to the Apollo flow. You can see this flow is showing green, which means it worked. The AI agent created a valid Apollo URL to generate leads. The URL was formatted properly, and the Appify tool generated leads. We can see the leads right here. We got the data. But again, I told you we filter data every time. So this is the filtered data we got. We got around 20 leads. And here you can see we also have 20 leads. Everything was working smoothly without any problems. But as you can see, this workflow is showing an error. The reason is that I added another HTTP node here. The idea was to send the lead data back to this web app, but for some reasons I haven't fully created this system yet. When we generate leads, we can send live lead data back to our front end so we can show that lead data on this page. Let me show you. When we start generating leads, you can see the leads we're showing here, but if you want, we can store the leads in this web app like some B2B lead databases do. If you've ever used Apollo, they have this feature where we can add leads like this on this page, and we can also export the leads here in this recent leads history table. So that's how this works, and I've covered lots of things for you. That's it. In the next tutorial, if I get good response from all of you, good comments and likes from this very first video, and encouragement from you, then I'll definitely create a dedicated video. I'll show you how you can create these types of systems. And if you want, I can create step-by-step tutorials on how to build these lead generation systems and even more advanced systems. If I get good response, then definitely in the next tutorial, we'll see how we can use these leads for cold emails and sequences. We can automate campaigns and other things. We'll cover all of these things if I get good response. So it depends on you. If you give good response on this, my first ever video, then I'll definitely keep teaching you and growing with all of you. My goal is simple. I want to make you a fully professional developer, so you can build automations with no code tools. You don't need any technical degree or coding knowledge. You can just build all of these like I showed you live. How I built this with AI writing the code for us. So that's what I can do for all of you. And that's how it works. All right. So thanks for staying until this point. And that's it for now. I hope you got something valuable from this video. All right, guys, before we wrap up here, if you want to dive deeper into this stuff, I've got something really cool for you. I created a Whop community where you can access the n8n automation template we just built together, along with all the AI prompts I used to create this web app. Now, normally this community is paid, but for everyone watching this video, if you subscribe to the channel and hit that like button, got a special 100% bonus code just for you. You can find the link and your bonus code down in the description below. Definitely check that out. And hey, if you're thinking about building something like this for your own business, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. We can chat about it. Or if you want to get more detailed help, you can always book a quick one-on-one AI strategy call with me. I'd love to help you figure out what would work best for your business or needs. Check the description box for more details. Now here's what I'm really excited about. The next video is going to be incredible. I'm going to show you how to take this lead generation web app to the next level. We're talking about pulling leads from multiple sources, doing deep research on each lead, and even creating professional PDF research reports. And the best part, I'll show you how to connect your cold email software directly to this system we've built. It's going to be a complete game changer for anyone doing lead generation. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Grab that bonus down in the description, and I'll see you in the next one. Can't wait to build something even more amazing together.